You're listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
We have a great opportunity for homeschool families coming up this spring, just right around the corner, actually, May 14th. Joining us today, the Reverend Kevin Johnson of Holy Cross Lutheran Church in Carlisle, Iowa. Pastor Johnson, thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome. Glad to be here.
So, Pastor Johnson, tell us how Holy Cross Lutheran Church in Carlisle, Iowa supports homeschool families.
Yeah, that's an interesting story. We didn't start out intending to do this. My wife and I decided to start homeschooling because while there's a Lutheran school here in Des Moines, it's about a 1-hour commute back and forth twice a day, and just wasn't real convenient for us. And plus, with a pastor's schedule, homeschooling gave us a lot of flexibility. And you know, we just weren't really too excited about sending our daughters to the public school just because of some of the things that we were concerned about that were being taught. And so homeschooling was a great option for us. And then over time, other like-minded families started coming to our church. And about 10 years ago, we had enough families that we decided to start a little homeschool co-op where we could pool our resources and have that fellowship around the prayer office, and do that in addition to the normal confirmation classes during the week and the classes that the people are teaching at home. And just seemed to kind of grow kind of organically. And so we've had, 10 or 12 families, over the last 10 years that have been part of this.
So tell us more about this co-op. How does this opportunity help you to support all of these homeschool families?
Yeah, well, I mean, we have a lot of experience with the families that, each family has, 2 or 3 or more kids that are being instructed at home. And so again, just pooling everybody's personal talents, and everybody's got a little bit of expertise in a different area. So some people teach art or science. I've taught a class on architecture. I was trained as an architect before going to the seminary, in addition to, the religious portions of it. It's just been a real neat opportunity for people to, come together and share their abilities and talents.
That sounds like just a very collaborative effort. So how did the idea for the homeschool conference come about?
Well, I mean, a lot of it just because we see so much stuff going on culturally, with our nation, with some of the things that are, being, put through the public school that we just weren't comfortable with having, again, our kids exposed to, but also, just the need to have that Christian-based, biblical worldview taught to our kids. And also because, the homeschooling, at least in Iowa, is predominantly in the hands of the evangelical church, non-denominational Christians. And so a lot of the materials, a lot of the things that they do are focused around that theological perspective. And so we thought it would be really exciting to do something for other homeschooling Lutherans or Lutherans that might want to homeschool because they don't have a Lutheran school readily available. And so last fall, our district had a speaker and, speaking on this. And I just kind of planted the idea in my head that, hey, maybe we're kind of uniquely positioned here in central Iowa and the Des Moines area where we've got, 15 Missouri Synod congregations, within 30 minutes of us. And my wife has put together, she's putting together the mailing list for this conference. She's got 500 addresses that she's sending out to all the churches in Iowa District East and Iowa West, and even within a couple hours of drive, to Des Moines. And so, we're hoping that there are other Lutherans who would like to see to be able to homeschool with a Lutheran focus.
That's amazing that you have that many people that you're able to pull into this kind of event. Definitely shows the need that you've expressed for this type of learning experience. So what's going to happen at this homeschool conference?
Well, we're going to start the day around 9 o'clock. Registration begins at 8:30. 9 o'clock, we'll begin with the prayer office at Matins. And then following that, we'll have first keynote speaker, which will be me, talking about the benefits of Lutheran homeschooling and grounding our children both in the, good education to be good citizens, but also the good education of God's word that needs to be, planted in our kids as well. And then we'll have 5 different breakout sessions that different homeschooling moms are going to be putting on that people can kind of go to and sort of pick what they're interested in, things that will help them, again, get their feet grounded in homeschooling and not be and get some of their questions answered about that. And then we'll have lunch. And then Jocelyn Benson, who's head of the Wittenberg Academy, which is an online classical Lutheran education group, she's going to give a presentation on ordering our days around our baptismal identity. And that's something that you can do uniquely as homeschoolers. And then we'll have some more breakout sessions. We'll have a panel discussion, again, because we've got a lot of experience here between all these moms and families that have been doing this. And then finally, we'll end with the suffrages around 4:00 as we send people home.
So it really sounds like a great day, packed with all kinds of learning for adults. Will there be opportunities for others in the family to participate as well?
Well, with the prayer offices and with the presentations too, I think unless the kids are very young, I think all ages can benefit from what they're going to hear. And we will have some activities and some people available to watch the younger kids.
Very good. So how do we find Carlisle, Iowa?
Okay. Well, the best way is probably just to Google it. Google Holy Cross Lutheran Church, Carlisle, Iowa. Make sure it's not Illinois or Pennsylvania, right? And we're in the Des Moines area, and we're just off the southeast corner of the Des Moines Metro. We're very easy to get to. There's a bypass that runs around the perimeter of Des Moines. It's a 4-lane highway 5, and I believe 65. And yeah, it's just very easy. We're just off of that, and we're about a mile off the main highway. Again, we've got a 4-lane road that goes past the church, and yeah, just real easy to find.
All right. So if people are now inspired to come from out of state, what kinds of things should people know when they're traveling to Carlisle, Iowa?
Well, if you've ever driven through the Midwest, it's corn, and more corn. pretty flat, But Iowa has its own, kind of quiet beauty, and come May, things will be starting to bloom again. But Des Moines itself has just a lot of activities. There's wonderful restaurants and museums and parks, and yeah. So if people come from out of town, they should feel right at home and have an opportunity to take advantage of our capital.
Very good. What do we need to know in order to prepare for the homeschool conference? This is coming up Saturday, May 14th, right?
Right. Yep. Just go to our website, holycrosscarlisle.org, and there you've got all the details and registration information. And by the way, there is no cost to this workshop. We feel very strongly that we want to offer this not just to Lutherans, but a lot of times Lutherans, I think, particularly here in the Missouri Synod, we have a great tradition of Lutheran education, and primarily in the Lutheran school system, which is amazing, but yet not all churches can afford to go the route of a full-blown school, and so we think that there might be a lot of people who, from smaller congregations, even from some of the more urban congregations that are just not happy with the public school system and some of the things that are going on, that would be really could really benefit. Maybe they just have some questions that they've never thought of this, but we want to encourage them that they can do it, and this will be a huge benefit for their family and for the kids' education. Homeschooling kids are well equipped for college, for the military, or wherever they go. I mean, this is just statistically proven, and so we're hoping that people will, at least with this, will pique their interest, and we can equip them to maybe consider doing this.
This is such a great networking event for families to get some support for what they're endeavoring to do. And you have a lot of experience in this. What have you learned over the years from networking just on your own from other families who are homeschooling?
Just that there's a tremendous amount of fraternity, if you want to call it that. We're very like-minded. We want this Lutheran education, a Christian worldview, the Lutheran confessions taught to our kids so they're well-grounded in it. Along with science, art, literature, language, and all the other things, and you know what? People are capable of doing this. And again, this isn't to take anything away from Lutheran school, but I think it's just an alternative that hopefully people will consider.
Yeah, especially for those families who don't, as you pointed out, who are rather distant from a Lutheran school in their community. What about families that have never homeschooled before and are considering it? Would this be a good opportunity for them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what we're hoping to do is just that you can do this. And and when 20 years ago, when my wife and I were introduced to this by another Lutheran family that were a little more thinking ahead to what was going on. We were a little intimidated there's so much information out there. It's hard to zero in. most people are overwhelmed because there's so many curriculums and different options and things. And we want to help them kind of narrow it down and get it manageable, so that they can, do this and again, encourage them. This isn't something that's weird or, strange, but this is something that's very beneficial and very attainable.
The Lutheran Homeschool Conference coming up at Holy Cross Lutheran Church in Carlisle, Iowa. Pastor Johnson, thanks so much for being our guest on the Coffee Hour today. We'll share the link to your church's website as well, holycrosscarlisle.org, on the archive of today's program. Thanks so much for being our guest on the Coffee Hour.
Well, thank you for letting me have some time.
You're listening to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.